Got me? Okay. We come now to our time of exhortation as we prepare our hearts for confession. And our exhortation this morning comes from Proverbs chapter 27, verse 17. Iron sharpens iron, and one man sharpens another. We all want the upside of Christian community, a sense of belonging, help in hard times, encouragement, safe friendships for our kids, and people we can relax and be vulnerable with. These are all very good things, but we must also keep in mind the realities of community. Community is messy. It involves conflict. People sin against each other. People take offense when they ought not to. They gossip. They disappoint. They let you down. This is real life in community. When you've been burned enough times by these kinds of things, it's a real temptation to withdraw, to say, I'm tired of the drama. I want peace. I'm just going to mind my own business and do my own thing and just leave these people alone. But friction and conflict in community, it's not a bug. It's a feature. Of course, I'm not suggesting that you go out and stir up trouble, but I want to make the point this morning that conflict is a normal byproduct of healthy and real community. Today, we often settle for counterfeit versions of community. And so one version is these self-curated groups of people who align with our preferences. These communities are less complicated because we can simply unfollow or unfriend the moment someone challenges us. That's not real community. We also hear about the supposed communities that media and politicians talk about. You'll hear often reference to the gay community or the left-handed community, or the gaming community or whatever, as if similarity and proximity creates a real functioning community, which it doesn't. Those are not real communities. True community is a living thing, and it requires ongoing effort and ongoing commitment. As Doug Wilson says, the church is not a club for individual Christians who happen to get along. It's a covenant body where membership entails obligation, discipline, and communion in Christ. So unlike social clubs and affiliations, your membership at TRC places you in a covenant community instituted by God, who sovereignly gathered all of us here together. We've taken vows to God and to one another. We did just now, submitting to the same church government. Our community is strengthened weekly as we sit under the same word and partake at the same table, so that when things get hard, our bond is not held together by just mere preferences, but by covenant loyalty to one another. There's even loyalty in the church when family ties start to falter or break down. You've heard the saying that blood is thicker than water, but for Christians, it's not. Water is thicker than blood. The bonds formed through baptism surpass even family loyalties. Just as Jesus said, "He that loveth his father and mother more than me is not worthy of me." So back to conflict. How can conflict be a good thing in covenant community? Well, let's return to our verse, Proverbs 27, verse 17. Iron sharpens iron, and one man sharpens another. This isn't just a slogan for Christian men's groups, iron sharpens iron. It's one of those Christianese phrases that we hear so frequently that I think we actually fail to grasp how profound the metaphor actually is. We tend to just reduce iron sharpens iron to this, idea that just let good habits rub off on each other, or surround yourself with high caliber people. But consider how the sharpening actually works in an iron sharpening iron scenario. Two identical pieces of iron cannot sharpen one another. It doesn't work. A blade is sharpened by a harder, specially shaped iron tool. So it's a one-way process. One thing is being sharpened by the other, the tool that is hardened and specially formed for that work. So this proverb is less about mutual encouragement among equals and more about mentorship and correction. If you want to be sharpened, you must submit to someone more mature, more equipped than you to shape you. As Galatians 1 puts it, brothers, if anyone's caught in a transgression, you who are spiritual should restore him in a spirit of gentleness. So there's this dynamic in Christian community where God has placed people in your lives who are wiser or more godly or more experienced. And he's called us together into community so that we would sharpen one another, especially those in our own households. So children, this means your parents. God put them in your lives to be iron sharpening you, and vice versa. Parents, you have a duty as that harder iron to sharpen your children. So iron sharpening iron, another fact about this metaphor that I think we miss is that iron sharpening iron is a very, it's a process that requires friction and heat and sparks. And real growth in Christian community rarely happens through casual Sunday small talk. It comes through uncomfortable conversations, awkward confrontations, and bearing with one another in love. So when you're feeling hot under the collar, you're upset or embarrassed by a brother or sister in the church, well, congratulations. The conditions are perfect for some sharpening to occur in your life. This is how God forms maturity in us. Remember, Hebrews 12 tells us that God disciplines those he loves and trains us through hardship so that we may share in his holiness. You are not being destroyed by friction. You are being forged. So lean in, don't pull away. Receive the friction, sharpen, and be sharpened. This reminds us of our need to confess our sin. So let's continue to prepare our hearts for confession as we sing hymn 352.